Hello everyone, Lynae is finally here and this video is a complete guide for her, covering all her new mechanics, simplifying the complicated kit, her best builds, rotations, team comps and more. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. After the 3.0 update, all enemies now have a shield icon to the left of the health bar, and characters have two new stats, Tune Break Boost and Off-Tune Build Up Rate. These are part of newly added Tune Break mechanic. Think of the shield icon as second toughness bar. When you attack enemies, you slowly reduce this shield. The higher your character's often build up rate, the faster this shield goes down. Once this shield bar is fully depleted, if the enemy is an elite enemy or above, a special indicator will appear on them. Triggering it allows you to perform a tune break. Tune break will immediately interrupt the enemy's current action, reduce a chunk of their toughness, and deal white colored physical damage. The physical damage is only affected by character level, enemy defense, enemy physical resistance, and the character's tune break boost stat. Characters from the 3.0 region have a base tune break boost of 10, while pre 3.0 characters have 0. Lynae can provide an additional 40 tune break boost to teammates. For one cost or common echoes, no extra tune break action is needed, they will automatically take a white color tune break damage. Now let's move on to Lynae's kit. She has two states, normal state and the kaleidoscopic parade state. All of Lynae's damage output and her mobility comes from the kaleidoscopic parade state. There are two methods to enter this state. Using normal attacks, resonance skills, melee attacks, dodge counter to accumulate her forte circuit energy called overflow. Once overflow is full, her basic attack icon lights up. Holding down the attack button causes Lynae to begin charging. Once the attack is fully charged, Lynae will automatically release, entering the kaleidoscopic parade state. The forte circuit bar changes to Lumi flow. The second method is riding the motorcycle in new region. After unlocking inherent skill 1, Lynae automatically enters this state when mounting the bike. In this state, Lynae starts skating. If you stand still or switch her off field, the Lumi flow gauge will decrease. Performing any movement or attack will cause it to refill. If it fills completely, Lynae can skate even faster. You can exit this state by holding the skill button. The jump action in this state is important to Lynae's rotation. Her jump becomes a special basic attack, the Polychrome Leap. Each jump consumes 1/3 of the Lumi flow gauge and can be used up to 3 times. In combat, each one of these attacks grants 1 point of true color up to 3 points. Once you have accumulated these 3 true color points and are in midair, you can perform visual impact by pressing normal attack or resonance skill. Using it has two effects. It increases the tune break boost of characters in the team by 40 points for 30 seconds. Visual impact leaves a pool of paint on the ground. Enemies within the area are continuously inflicted by photochromatic flux. Polychrome Leap, which is a jump basic attack, visual impact, and Lynae's intro skill all apply photochromatic flux to enemies. The effect of this depends on Lynae's current mode. In the top left corner of character skill interface, you will see a resonance mode toggle button, left for tune rupture, right for tune strain. Switching modes changes the icons of a resonance skill, forte circuit, and tune break description accordingly. While only the icon changes, the skills remain the same. The only thing affected is the effect of photochromatic flux. Tune break is divided into two types, tune rupture and tune strain. If tune rupture is active after any team member performs a tune break on an enemy with photochromatic flux, the enemy enters a tune ruptured interfered state. To put it simply, after the tune break, if any damage is dealt to that enemy, Lynae will follow up with the tune rupture response damage. This damage is similar to tune break damage and does not benefit from attack or damage bonus. The same target can only be inflicted once every 8 seconds, which means it triggers once per enemy per tune break, as the interfered state also lasts for 8 seconds. If tune strain is active, the enemies enter the tune strain interfered state. The damage Lynae deals is increased. With 50 tune break boost, this increase is about 6%. So all in all, the ruptured state is great for sub DPS Lynae, whereas the strain is good for main DPS Lynae. Also, most of the new standard banner weapons are locked behind the tune strain, so in such cases, use the tune strain effect. Now let's move on to her buffs. One of her major buffs comes from her liberation. It deals damage and gives a team-wide 24% all damage bonus for 30 seconds. After the liberation, using normal attack casts a special basic attack dealing damage. And the next major buff is from her outro skill, that gives 15% all damage amplify and 25% liberation damage amplify, which gets removed after 14 seconds or when the buffed character is swapped out. So to summarize her kit, Lynae is a hybrid DPS that gives some amazing buffs while also dealing good personal damage. You can use her as a main DPS as well since her damage is quite good, and the major chunk of her damage is considered as basic attack damage. For her talent priority, prioritize her forte, then resonance liberation, basic attack, resonance skill, and intro skill. Moving on to her weapons. As a sub DPS, Lynae wants weapons that buffs her damage and also buffs the team damage. And the perfect fit for this is a signature weapon, Spectrum Blaster, that gives 24.3% crit rate. From its passive, it increases attack by 12%, gives 36% basic attack damage bonus, and gives 8% damage increase to all resonators in the team, which can stack up to 3 times, that is a total of 24%. The next best option you can use is the old standard banner weapon, Static Mist. It does hurt Lynae's personal damage, but it makes up for it by buffing the next character. The new standard banner weapon, Phasic Homogenizer, is the second best option when it comes to damage. Worse than the Static Mist when used as a sub DPS, but for main DPS playstyle, it should be a second best option. The other 5-star signatures can be used as crit statistics, and for some 4-star options, you can refer to this chart. Moving on to our echoes. The best echo set for Lynae is the new set, Pact of Neon Light Leap. It gives 10% spectral damage bonus on the 2-piece effect. The 5-piece effect gives 15% attack to the next resonator, and up to 15% more attack based on the Tune Break boost. For characters before 3.0, Lynae can give them up to 27% attack, and for 3.x characters, they can get 30% attack. And the best echo skill is Hyvetia, a summon type echo that can be used anywhere in your rotation, and giving 10% all attribute damage bonus to the next resonator. The best part is that it is not a nightmare echo set, so you can farm it as much as you want. You can use the Moonlit set with the Heron echo skill as a placeholder. For main DPS Lynae, the best echo set is the Rite of Gilded Revelation, giving up to 40% spectral damage bonus and 40% basic attack damage bonus, which is great for Lynae. For echo stats, crit on the 4 cost, double spectre on the 3 cost, or a combination of 1 spectre and 1 attack, and attack percent on the 1 cost. For echo substats, try to get enough energy regen around 15 to 25%, then crit stats, attack percent, basic attack damage bonus, and flat attack. Moving on to our team comps. Lynae is extremely flexible and great general support thanks to her all-rounder buffs. But she synergizes the most with the characters that deal resonance liberation damage cause she buffs it from her outro. Iuno, Xiangli Yao, and Calcharo are some of the fantastic pairs with her. Especially Iuno, she is now a lot stronger thanks to Lynae. She can be used with DPS Phoebe as she doesn't have any dedicated support. She is even the best support with Carlotta and Camellia due to her general buffs. And she will find even more usage with future 3.x characters. Moving on to rotations. Lynae's rotation is extremely simple. We start with her intro into her liberation, then use her skill to fill her forte, charge the attack, jump 3 times, press basic attack for visual impact and outro. And lastly, moving on to her sequences. The first sequence increases the damage multiplier of her Polychrome Leap attack, which is a jump attack, and increases the paint's duration while also providing crowd control, which is nice. She becomes immune to interruption during her jumping attacks, and she immediately gives max overflow forte by staying out of combat for 2 seconds, which is nice. Overall, it is a 10% damage increase. Lynae's S2 is really strong. It gives 25% all damage amplification, which is nice, but the best part is her outro giving additional 25% all damage amplification for 14 seconds or until swapped out to the next character. The S2 is a good stopping point for sequence pullers. The S3 increases the damage multipliers of some of her attacks, and when Doomiflow is below 120 points, it gives her some stacks that increases the damage of her resonance skill in kaleidoscopic parade state. The S4 and S5 have some raw damage increase. The S6 basically increases the damage of the visual impact by 90%, additionally gives her interruption immune and damage reduction. It further increases the Lumiflow limit. So overall for her sequences, the S2 is a good stopping point. And lastly, some final verdict on Lynae. Lynae is definitely a top tier support and will stay in the meta for a long time as her buffs are universal while dealing a good amount of personal damage, making her usable in almost every team. She is very F2P friendly as she does not need her signature to perform well. She has little to no downsides. If I have to point out, it could be a lack of swap cancel abilities and she can be interrupted quite easily at S0. What do you guys think about Lynae? Let me know in the comments. And that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Join my Discord server to hang out with other WuWa players, and thanks for watching.